With Trump's announcement that he's going to renew and snap back into place oil sanctions and sanctions on banking in Iran, the European Union, which was not consulted and opposed that action, is struggling to try to stop the U.S. sanctions from controlling European conduct. But they're failing. European companies like Total and Siemens and others who have huge business interests in Iran are closing them down and relocating outside of the country because the U.S. sanctions have a secondary sanctions provision which say that not only are U.S. companies not allowed to do business in Iran, but no dollar transactions can take place in Iran or over Iranian trade, and any company that does business with Iran will be foreclosed from accessing the United States market. And with that threat, all major companies in the world that are involved with Iran are pulling out. The European Union hates this because it demonstrates their weakness and their inability to stop this. And they're appeasers anyway, but this becomes more of an institutional question about the European lack of power. So the European Union passed a law blocking U.S. sanctions and forbidding any of its European nationals from abiding by the U.S. sanctions, and offering to reimburse anyone who was damaged by these sanctions for the cost of their loss of income. And no companies are taking them up on it. Companies are saying, hey, we are not going to lose the U.S. market, and they're ignoring the EU blocking statute. That's an incredible development. The other big area of battle is over SWIFT, SWIFT, the Society for Worldwide International Financial Transactions. I got that, SWIFT. That's the clearinghouse, that basically the switchboard that connects financial institutions and customers throughout the world to send financial messages. They transmit 15 million messages a day, only 2 million back in 1995, and involve 200 countries and 11,000 financial institutions. SWIFT is nominally owned by a Belgian consortium, but Citibank and JP Morgan both sit on its board. And SWIFT is no longer accepting anything from Iran once the sanctions were imposed in early November, because they can't do dollar-denominated transactions without running afoul of the U.S. sanctions. The Germans have proposed replacing SWIFT with a European alternative, but none of the European banks or companies is willing to go along with that. There was some hope that Russia and China and India might fill the breach, but Russia is worried about another round of sanctions. China's banking system is tottering anyway in the middle of its economic doldrums, and India has already announced compliance with the sanctions. The other fear has been that oil prices would rise because of the sanctions, but last time the sanctions were imposed in 2011, oil prices actually dropped, and Saudi Arabia has said they will increase production by up to 2 million barrels a day to mitigate the impact of the loss of Iranian oil. So the point is that the U.S. is acting unilaterally, toughly, strongly, and effectively against Iran, and there's not a damn thing Europe can do about it. Thanks for watching.